Oh dear, it looks like we have a green algae problem in this indoor pond. But that's actually a good thing, because in this video we're going to be testing out the new Fluval UVC inline clarifier. What we're going to be doing in this case is actually attaching it onto this little pond and seeing whether it can clean up this green water. Now this pond isn't that big, it's about 80 litres. All that's in there at the moment are 2 sailfin mollies and a couple of shrimps, so nothing really big in terms of bioload. The lighting are some indoor plant lights which I got off Amazon. It's a 3 light unit and it's on a timer for 12 hours. And we've also got some floating plants in here. We've got UK frogbit, we've got Amazon frogbit, we've got dwarf water lettuce, and there's also a little bit of red root floater in there, but not a great deal. In terms of filtration at the moment, there's only a little internal filter, but that's doing fine in terms of biological media and keeping the fish alive. The reason it's gone green is because I've made it go green. I've added lots of plant fertilizers in here to get the floating plants growing, and as a result as well, the water has gone this pea soup color. There's also a film on top of here, but there's not much I can do about that because just the way it is. It's outside, there's no overflow to remove this film, so just excuse the dust and grime on the surface. So let's have a look at how green this water is. Obviously you can see there's a clarity issue. You can't really see my hand or anything below maybe a couple of centimetres into this water. And if we look in this test tube, you can see there is in fact a green water problem. Now this green water is primarily caused by algae. Obviously there is a little bit of debris in the water as well, however it's mainly green algae, and that is what the UVC will target. The idea is it will go through the UVC, the green algae and its spores will be killed, and then the water will eventually go clear. And what we're going to do is add the UV, and we're going to see how long it takes to clear this up, and also does it clean it up, because I mean I haven't tested that unit yet. We might find actually that nothing changes and it stays horrible and green and doesn't get clear at all, and that's the whole point of this video, to see whether that UV light will actually work. Okay, so in terms of setup, we're going to do it quite a simple way. We're not going to be using an external canister or attaching this to a canister filter in any way. We're just going to be using a simple pump. This is actually an internal aquarium filter, but we're not going to be using it as a filter. We're going to be using it simply as something to push water through the UVC. Luckily it has an adapter that can fit the OEM pipe, which is the 16mm rubber end, which is quite handy. So essentially we're just going to be using a bit of pipe to go from the pump to the UVC, and then from the UVC back to the tub with the water in it. The flow rate of this pump is about 400 litres, which fits in the range that the UVC can handle, which is perfect. So it'll pretty much simulate using an external canister filter on it with the flow rate that it pushes out. And also we're going to put on the plastic casing that's normally on the internal filter, but we're not going to be putting any media in there. We'll just keep it blank, just to use it as a bit of a screen to stop any big bits going through the UVC. This is the UVC mounted. It comes with 2 screws in the pack, and you can see I've used the little screw holes there just to attach it to the wood in my shed. Pipework's in place, and essentially I've mounted it like a T-shape. Now you can mount it the other way up. Since my last video I found out it doesn't actually matter which way up you mount it. The only problem with that is if you mount it the other way to what I'm doing here, if it gets really slow flow rate, and I'm talking if you get a Fluval 107, turn the flow right down, you might find gas bubbles build up in the little U-bend inside of it. Other than that, there isn't really any other problems with it. So you can see the pipe work, the pump's in place inside of the tub. It just goes from the tub up to the UVC, through the UVC, and then it has a little return back into the tub there. I've used a pipe clip just to hold the pipe work in place, and I've also used some little ties just to make sure that nothing moves. We've got no kinks or bends as far as we can make it in the pipe work, so it's set up pretty much perfectly. So in terms of duration that the UVC is going to be running, the unit can do 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 or 24. So 12 hours is slap bang in the middle, and it's just a good average time to select, I feel. So that's going to be set for 12 hours a day, and we're going to run it basically for about a week, I think, and see the results. Just a midway interval update. So we're at day 4, and we can see that there is a massive effect on the water clarity already. It's still a little bit hazy, however we can see the bottom of this tub now. Look, you can just about see the bottom, whereas before we couldn't even see maybe a couple of centimeters into this tub. So after, I think it's 4 days, we're seeing a dramatic increase in the clarity of this water. Okay, it has been exactly, give or take a few hours, 1 week since I put the Fluval UVC onto this system. Now, it's only been running 12 hours a day. I haven't adjusted anything else in this tub. The plants are the same, the filtration is the same. I haven't done a water change. I haven't done anything other than adding that UV and running it for 12 hours a day. And you can see there is a massive difference. Now, of course, it still looks a little bit murky, and that is purely, I think, down to the fact that the filtration is massively underpowered. This is only really rated for 30 litres. This tub is around 80 litres, so with a bigger filter, so like an external filter on there with some proper media on it, then I'm pretty sure we'd be able to get this crystal clear. But you can see a massive difference. If we look at this container of water under the light here, so much clearer, right? The first sample was really murky, really green and awful. So there's been a huge improvement. Look, you can see the bottom of the tub now. You can see there's a cherry shrimp in there. Before we couldn't see my hands a few centimeters down. Now right at the bottom you can see my skin. So definitely an improvement. As I've mentioned there, you can see a bit easier that the fact it's still a little bit murky. There's still a little bit of cloudiness to this water, but I definitely think that's an easy thing to fix with better filtration. So really we can definitely see here that the Fluval UVC works. It has made a significant difference to the clarity of the water. It's removed a lot of that, or at least killed a lot of that green murky algae. And so if you're struggling with green water on your fish tank, or even maybe like a little pond or tub like this, then adding this UV will definitely make a difference. This is proof. We've seen it in action. You can see the mollies there, happy swimming around. Now we can actually see them, which is really nice. So that's basically the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've answered some questions here, haven't we? If you have enjoyed it, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and happy fish keeping.